Picture this, a 5-star quarterback at 16 years old already has Alabama, Georgia, and Ohio State blowing up his phone. Sports blogs call him the next Patrick Mahomes. He's on national TV, wearing custom cleats worth more than your first car. And now, fast forward 5 years, do you know his name? Probably not, because while only a handful of 5 stars become NFL stars, most disappear into the shadows, burned out, injured, or replaced by some kid no one saw coming. Some of the NFL's biggest stars like Khalil Mack or JJ Watt weren't even ranked in high school, and yet they fought their way out of obscurity to the first round of the NFL draft. So how accurate is that high school ranking, and does it really matter? What are the real odds of making the league if you're a 5-star, 4-star, or just some kid grinding in the weight room with zero hype? Stick around, because the numbers I'm about to show you are going to blow your mind. Every year, around 1.1 million high schoolers strap on pads and dream of playing in the NFL. Out of those, only about 100,000 of them will even get noticed by serious recruiters. But here's where the dream almost dies. Only 2,500 players, or roughly 11%, will ever step onto an NCAA roster, whether it's Division 1, 2, 3 combined. Then you get to the NFL draft. Every year, there are only 255 draft slots. So run the math. From 1.1 million kids down to 255 names. The average high school player has about 2.02% chance, that's 1 in 5,000, of hearing their name on draft day. You are literally 3 times more likely to get struck by lightning than to get drafted into the NFL, if you're just a regular high school player. But even in this brutal funnel, there's a cheat code, your star ranking. Because if you're a 5-star recruit, your odds aren't just better, they're in a completely different universe. But what are the odds of being labeled a 5-star or a 4-star or a 3-star? 1.1 million high school football players of all grades. There are 300,000 high school seniors. 2,800 to 3,000 football scholarships are signed per class. 32 to 35 5-star total in a class. Typically less than 1% in all FBS signees, and about 0.003% of all high school players. So out of 1.1 million high school players, only about 35 kids in the entire country are labeled a 5-star. That's 0.003%. So the 5-stars make about 30 to 35 players, which is 0.7 to 0.9% of all FBS signees. 4-stars, they make about 350 to 400 players, which is 12 to 15% of those, and 3-stars make about 45 to 55%, which is the majority, and the 2-star or unranked is everyone else. According to On3's Draft by Stars data, over the last 5 NFL drafts, here's the reality. 5-star recruits have a 63% chance of getting drafted. 4-star recruits have a 22% of getting drafted. 3-star recruits have a 5.3% chance, and 2-star or unranked players have less than 2% chance of getting drafted. Think about that. A 5-star is literally 30 times more likely to get drafted than an unranked player. And it's not just about getting drafted. These players get drafted earlier. Over 20% of first-round picks in the past decade were 5-star recruits, despite making up less than 1% of all high school players. But to see how deep this advantage runs, you have to break it down by position. At safety, 67% of 5-star recruits get drafted. At defensive tackle, it's 64%. Inside linebacker, 64% as well. Tight end, 100%. Small sample size, but every tight end goes. And even wide receivers, one of the most competitive positions, still see over 53% of 5-stars making it. The drop-off of 4-stars is a huge 22%. 3-stars, 10% or less across all positions. This isn't luck. It's a ranking system that's gotten so sharp, it's like reading the future. But how do these stars stack up in the first round of the draft? Let's pull back the curtain. In the early 2010s, 5 stars had about 48 to 50% draft rate. Today, it's a 63%. 4 stars have climbed from 18% to 22%. And while 3 stars still hover at 5 to 6%, they remain the backbone of the NFL because there are so many of them in the recruiting pool. From 2017 to 2021 alone, 119 5-star recruiters were drafted. But here's the big question. What does this actually mean for a player's personal odds? 5 stars have a 53 to 63% chance of being drafted. 4 stars, around 20 to 22%, that's 1 in 5. 3 star, about 5 to 6%, that's 1 in 20. 2 star or unranked, 1 to 1.5%. For context, an average high school player sits at 0.02%. So if you're a 5 star, you're nearly 300 times more likely to make it to the NFL compared to the average kid. Even a 3 star has a 25 times better shot. The gap is insane, but for all the numbers, there's only one they don't capture: the outliers. The outliers that defy the system, like Cam Ward, a 0-star quarterback who had no offers and went first overall to the Tennessee Titans this year. Sauce Gardner, a skinny 3-star from Detroit, who turned into a top draft pick and is already one of the best corners in football. Khalil Mack, Carson Wentz, Hunter Renfrow, all guys who were barely noticed in high school but clawed their way into the NFL. These players are exceptions. The ones who remind us that grit and timing can beat the odds. But as a system, the rankings are ruthless. And more often than not, they're right. Every Cam Ward or Sauce Gardner is proof that stars can't measure heart, obsession, or timing. The odds are stacked against you, but they're not sealed. And that's what makes football and the NFL so addictive and pure awesomeness.